everybody, welcome back to Freeze Frame, episode 43, the show where we stopped to take a moment to discuss all the heavily talked about news of the week having to do with movies, TV, streaming, and pop culture. My name is Ryder, and today I'm joined by a fellow Texan and fan of pop culture, Tope Imade. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. So everybody listening at home, I think this is a pretty cool story. So we met on Twitter, and I don't know how, but it was meant to be. Where we followed each other probably because of the people that we follow. We're both into film and pop culture and Marvel, and we just made a connection, and now here we are doing the show together.
Yes, sir. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I reached out and I clicked on his links, and I love the material that they did, and I'm so happy Ryder reached back out to me, and we just started talking from then on, and here we are. So
yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're on tonight. Today.
But good.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So before we kind of get into the thick of it, everybody at home, thank you so much for listening on audio platforms. Again, if you enjoyed the show, give us a review. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong as well. Helps us out. We also have Discord that'll be linked down below, so you can join our community and talk with us more on a personal level. And we have TikTok for all the updates in pop culture, Instagram and Twitter, and of course all the social media you can imagine, as well as Tope. All of his social media will be linked down below. I'll be saying that throughout the show, but definitely check out his content. If you're into our content, you'll definitely like what he got. So that'll be all linked down below. Hey guys, this episode of Freeze Frame is brought to you by our favorite producers of grooming tools, Manscaped. The global leaders in below-the-waist grooming are leaving 2021 with a brand new product. You can clean yourself into the new year with their ultra premium body wash. Also, we have a special offer alert for you guys. You can use the code strictlycasual for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. 4 million men already trust Manscaped, so it's time to join them. Let's talk about being clean, feeling, and smelling good. The new Ultra Premium Body Wash from Manscaped solves all three for the perfect addition to your daily grooming routine, but in the shower. I shower every day, and I hope you do too. Now, this body wash is infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, nice, and moisturized. With Manscaped, you'll be a brand new man and ready to kick off all the gross hair and smells out with 2021. Again, you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code strictlycasual at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code strictlycasual. Happy New Year from Manscaped. Now back to the show. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start off. We have first little light topics to begin, and that's Marvel, of course. Spider-Man No Way Home. So we're gonna say, I'm just gonna go ahead and say slight spoilers right here because I feel like it's been a weekend. People have had their time to enjoy it. But have you seen it, and what are kind of your thoughts? How do you feel about the film so far?
Yeah, I saw it Thursday night a couple of days ago, and honestly, could arguably be one of the best Marvel movies ever. And you can say there's like some recency bias to that, but if you watch the movie, you would understand why majority of us think that way. And personally, it's honestly in my top three. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. No,
how about you?
I agree. Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. It's like, oh man, it just came out, and I'm kind of still like buzzing from it. So it might be that, but I'm gonna see it again later tonight. So hopefully I can kind of gather my thoughts more. But I do think it was such a fantastic film for Spider-Man, and I think it was solid in kind of rounding off the homecoming arc of Tom Holland, and really cementing him as a Spider-Man. He is Peter Parker and a Spider-Man, and yeah, it was really something. Like it was special. Like I know you probably felt this too watching. It's like, wow, this is something. It feels more special than a normal Marvel film. More than the formula that they do. And I feel like this is definitely, a lot of people are gonna be talking about this for a long time. I really feel like that.
You're right. But yeah, just seeing the movie. I mean, in the whole character arc, just from, again, like you mentioned, from Homecoming up until now, and you can see in Homecoming and Far From Home, you see him kind of have this kind of like, not childish, but this kind of like kiddie, characteristics where like the stakes are so much higher in this movie that he's forced to mature so quickly. So that's one thing I loved about the movie, and I'm looking forward to the future. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. You make a great point. Yeah, he definitely he evolved, and a lot of people made this note, and I was like, you can agree with it or not, but that he was Spider-Boy and now he's Spider-Man. He's kind of evolved. But I don't know. It's like he's always been a kid, and he's a kid. And he just does normal kid stuff, which makes sense. But take it as you will. But Anyways, moving on now. Something else, guys. This is Hawkeye. Hawkeye episode 5 dropped last week, which is Marvel fans are eating, that's for sure. And definitely, we're gonna say spoilers for the end of the episode. It's kind of been out for a week, and I know if you're listening, you're probably heard the new episode. But have you seen the new episode? If so, what do you think about the huge reveal? And you can feel free to talk about
it. Again, it was wildly talked about, so I kind of knew going in. I kind of expected it to happen last episode, but just not even having a scene with Kingpin, but just seeing like a screenshot or a picture of him. I still react the same way. I still went crazy. So just being able to see that like the Marvel TV shows on Netflix kind of like starting to get integrated into the MCU, means a lot to me. Means a lot to a lot of fans, and I'm just looking forward to what they have coming up next. But seeing Kingpin was a huge freaking plus for me, man. It was awesome. It just kind of topped off the episode, so couldn't be any more happier.
Absolutely. So have you seen all the Netflix Marvel shows?
I've seen Daredevil. I fell off on Iron Fist. The Punisher is my all-time favorite, and I don't know what can top that. So hopefully John Bernthal's in the MCU. Hopefully I'm praying that Feige, he does that. But I've seen Jessica Jones, but I kind of just fell off on Iron Fist really, and I watched Luke Cage as well. So how about you?
No, I feel yeah. I watched a little bit of each show, like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Like I enjoyed them in their own way. They're definitely a must watch. I'd say just give it a chance. But Daredevil for me was huge because I don't know, it was gritty, it was grounded, and it was definitely mature. And it was a new take on Daredevil from last we saw Ben Affleck. And I think this is like he is the ultimate Daredevil. And I think it was so cool that. Again, spoilers for No Way Home. Huge spoiler. Skip like 20 seconds to see Charlie Cox return in No Way Home. And like you said, Kingpin, I mean, it's Feige's listening to us, and it's cool that we get the return of these characters that we love so much.
Exactly. And again, we came a long way from Daredevil with Ben Affleck. But again, just seeing Charlie Cox in that scene catch that brick, it was like, yes, let's do this. Like, even though it was just 20 seconds, 30 seconds of him in the movie, like the crowd reacted damn near the same way, for other huge events in the movie. So it was awesome. So we'll see what the future holds, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the Hawkeye episode 6 season finale drops this Tuesday night. We will be doing a watch party for that, so stay tuned. But I'm very excited to see this finale. It's going to be something exciting for sure.
I know it's the longest episode of the series. So I know kind of No Way Home ended with him swinging over New York, and hopefully I don't know if we're gonna see him swing over in Hawkeye, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to this episode. Hopefully we have some scenes with Kingpin in it. I want to see more of Echo. I don't think we've seen much of her lately besides that scene on top of the apartment. But hopefully this episode kind of delivers, which I know it will. It's Kevin Feige. It's the MCU, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. It's exciting. We'll see for sure. All right, moving on now to our main news of the week. We have a lot of Marvel, but we also have a lot of other studio news, which is always exciting for me because Marvel is great, but we want some diversity. Anyways. Getting started here, we have No Way Home has earned apparently the third highest amount in domestic Thursday night previews of all time, which is only behind The Force Awakens and Avengers Endgame. Pretty crazy.
It is, and my only thing is, and let me ask you this question: would you think it'd be number one if it wasn't for the pandemic?
Oh, 100%. Because I'm sure you heard about like there's no China release, right? Like I think there was a situation there, so like pandemic and no China release. It's like. And it's already doing so good. I really think that this movie would have been top for sure.
Exactly. So that's why, again, that's kind of why my reasoning for having it as like automatic top 3 for Marvel movies. But again, if it wasn't for the pandemic and again the China release, it could compete with Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, for sure. What was your theater experience like? Was the crowd full? Was it crazy?
So it was insane. When. Just from classic callbacks to previous movies to character reveals to that big scene with Ned, spoiler alert, Ned has powers. So we from beginning to end, like it was insane. And again, spoiler alert again, like the biggest reaction came from Tobey Maguire coming in, and we all kind of knew that they were going to be in it, but just finally seeing that come into play and just experiencing that, it's like that was the best experience I've had in the movie theater compared to Avengers Endgame. But that was hands down. It was amazing. So a lot of comic book fans came in cosplay and stuff like that. So it was pretty awesome, man. Yeah. How was your experience?
Oh, just the same. Like, it was probably, if not crazier than Endgame, I'd say. I had a good crowd because I got to see it at the Chinese Theater here in Los Angeles, and it was completely sold out showing. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been that shocked before in my life because, I hear about Toby and Andrew, but as soon as it happens, you're just so shocked because, that stuff, it's our childhood that we've seen so many years ago, and to just see them again, it's like, you're older now and I'm older, and it's just emotional. Yeah. And so I was like, wow, this is wild. And I was trying to take it in, but it went by so fast. But the crowd was just beyond. It was more than I could have hoped for.
even I've never really cried in a movie, and I didn't cry in No Way Home, but I was just damn near on the edge because I've never had that much like emotion built up, like the just the build up, like, okay, I think something's coming up, and then it finally happens, and the whole theater goes crazy, and I'm going crazy. It was just an amazing experience and something I'll do again. But again, we're gonna have more experiences like that in the future. So it's Kevin Feige, he always has to outdo himself, right? He's his own biggest critic. So I know there's gonna be more scenes like this, and I just can't wait for him, man.
Oh, absolutely. It's fun to talk about something like this, with I feel like you can sense when someone loves Marvel as much as you do. So it's always nice to have like someone like, oh, you know this, you feel it, and it's like, yep, I know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, okay, cool. We both know.
Man.
All right, yeah. If you want to take this next one and moving on here, I think we're on the original right here.
Yeah. So the original Spider-Man No Way Home marketing plan would have kept all the villains secret, according to Tom Holland. How do you feel about that, man?
It was pretty wild. Like, you talked about how they wanted to market it, and I don't know. I think the marketing was pretty good because they kind of kept the biggest parts of the film a secret. But yeah, he says the initial plan was to make the film seem like civil war between himself and Doctor Strange, which I would have been interested in. I would have been like, oh wow, their heroes are fighting. That still would have been a seller for me. But I think they're like, well, we'll show some of the villains. I think that'll be a huge seller. But I'm glad that they saved some of it, and I think the way they executed it was pretty good.
Yeah, I remember when the news broke December 2020, I remember refreshing my Twitter page, and every time it was like, oh, Jamie Foxx is returning for the third installment of the Tom Holland series. Oh, Alfred Molina's coming back. Oh, Willem Dafoe's coming back, and that's when Twitter went crazy. So I didn't believe. I mean, Tom Holland says this now, but if that would have came out saying, okay, it's going to be like a kind of Civil War thing, I wouldn't have believed it, knowing that all these villains were coming back. So, and we mentioned the marketing plan, like, it was genius. For the fans Sony put it in the hands of the fans to market the movie itself. So once they knew the villains were coming back, they kind of assumed, okay, Toby and Andrew would come back as well. So they just gave it to the fans and rolled with it, right? So, and clearly the marketing plan worked. Again, we mentioned it being the third highest, domestic Thursday night previews of all time. So it's, that was a perfectly executed marketing plan by them. So I couldn't have done it any better. So it's, they probably didn't even spend a dime doing that. So it was smart.
I agree 100%. Yeah, it was smart. But anyways, moving on here now, Tom Holland's next adventure in the MCU is already committed, says Sony's CEO. Let's see. She said it's reciprocal. So we lend one, then they lend one. So that's good to hear. I think Kevin Feige also mentioned that they're already working on Spider-Man 4, so we don't have to get kind of that withdrawal that we got after Far From Home. We're gonna get another one, which it's pretty interesting. How do you feel about another trilogy?
I mean, this is the end of the first trilogy, so like for me, like the anticipation and the expectation and just the build up for the next one is already here. So hopefully, gratefully, or just we're getting a filler in between that with Spider-Man freshman year. It was going to be a show on Disney Plus. So, so we kind of have some they're kind of feeding us a little bit like those tads of, of Spider-Man content in between now and the next film. So, we'll survive then. But For the next trilogy, like I'm looking forward to it. They kind of teased a little bit of it towards the end of No Way Home. Spoiler alert: when the Green Goblin bombed I cannot pronounce the cube. I can't pronounce it at all. So
it's a hard name, but you're right. The cube, yeah.
So we saw glimpses of like Rhino, Scorpion, Kraven the Hunter. So like it's kind of teasing the future of Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man trilogy. So I couldn't I'm looking forward to it, but again, it's probably gonna be 3, 4, 5 years out. But for them, they like kind of give us Spider-Man freshman year in between that. Just kind of like feeds our hunger a little bit,
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Yeah, it's exciting. I almost forgot about that, but I was like, oh, that's right. We have an animated kind of canon prequel story about Spider-Man. So what more could you ask for? It's too much content at this point.
I know.
So much.
Loving it, man.
Yeah. Loving it too. All right. Yeah. If you want to, this one's pretty fun. And I have already a question ready for you for this next one, but you can read it.
Yeah. So Tom Holland borrowed a move from Marvel Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home. Talking about action or a stunt scene, maybe.
Yeah. Apparently there was so I don't know if you remember when he's fighting. This whole episode is already spoilers for the movie, so I'm sorry everybody, but I mean it's been a weekend and I feel like it's okay. We prefaced it at the beginning, but anyways, when he's fighting Green Goblin in the apartment building, he webs him up and then throws him down the floors. Yeah. That was a move from the video game. I don't know if you played the Spider-Man video game at all.
My roommate does. I kind of watch him play.
I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but then somebody posted a clip online. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I don't know. It's just a cool little anecdote there.
It's cool. I'll look out for the third, fourth time I see it. So
okay, cool. nice. All right, let's see a little more Spider-Man news, and then we'll wrap up here on Marvel. Willem Dafoe says that he only returned as the Green Goblin in Spider-Man No Way Home on the condition that he could be a part of the action and kind of do his own stunts. He said it makes you earn the right to play the character. And I gotta give kudos to him because man, he is a older guy, but he did fantastic.
he has done more than earn the right to play that character. Even from the first Spider-Man installment with Tobey Maguire, at this point he's just cementing his legacy as one of the greatest comic book villains of all time. So for him to say earn the part, it's dude, no, you've already cemented yourself. So, but for him to be 60 plus and do those stunts, it's outstanding for him, and just shows the type of actor he is and his dedication to the work and his role as a Green Goblin. So. I mean, shoot, like he's just a badass type of guy. So kudos to him.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. All right. And now if you want to wrap us up for Marvel, take us away with this last headline.
So Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness reshoots wrap this week. This could be a good or bad thing. How do you feel about it?
I'm going to stay optimistic. Like with anything, reshoots are never a bad thing. I feel like it gives you more time to hopefully fix mistakes or maybe add more things that are just making it better, and so I'm hoping. Apparently they said that they were adding more cameos and characters to have more fun with the film after No Way Home and the success of that. So I'm only hoping that they just make it crazy, add Deadpool, add X-Men, and
so make it what kind of cameos, give me 3 cameos you want to see in this film.
That's a good question. I was just about to ask you that. I would think for me, because I saw someone say Deadpool, I think that would make sense as like a funny one. So Deadpool, people were saying Charles Xavier, and I think that's kind of an easy one, but a big stretch. And then probably like Captain Carter from the What If series, because she's in the multiverse kind of area, and maybe they include her, or or also I'll make it like a little plus 4. The Watcher, a live action The Watcher. I think that would make sense because he made communications with Doctor Strange. What about you?
I can see that. First of all, I'd want to see something from the What If series. So we kind of got a glimpse at Supreme Strange. But honestly, I love the Fantastic Four. The kind of the reason I got started with superheroes, as I told you before. So I would love to see Chris Evans come back as Johnny Storm and just that'd be awesome. Something kind of unexpected, probably Ghost Rider, just to see something we haven't seen in a long time. And man, this is going to be hard because there's so many. And hopefully one of the villains teased in kind of like the end of No Way Home. So whether that be Scorpion or Kraven the Hunter or probably Kraven the Hunter because again, I want to see what Aaron Taylor Johnson would look like when he's not Quicksilver. So just kind of those three. I'm sure there's more, but those are the top three that come to mind right now. So
I'm with you. There was nothing off the table after including actors like Toby and Ed. If you can get those guys to come back, then I really think that you can get someone like, Hugh Jackman or Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. Like, I think he would be down for that. It's like, hey, it's fun. Sure, I'll do it,
Yeah.
All right, moving on now. We have some Warner Brothers news. Finally straying away from Marvel. We have the WB CEO says that they would love to develop more Harry Potter series. She didn't specify films or TVs, only the potential projects that must be true to the ethos of the wizarding world. Now, what's your relationship with Harry Potter?
It's not a great relationship at all. But we'll see. I know Warner Brothers is kind of like officially in competition with Marvel, but nothing's wrong with producing more content and being more diverse in content. Harry Potter is one of the most successful book series in the entire of all time. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to another book adaptation to a book, a successful series. So we'll see.
Yeah. For the new year, they're doing kind of a reunion, so all the actors are coming back and they're kind of doing like what Friends did for HBO Max. I think this is HBO Max as well, so pretty exciting for a lot of Harry Potter fans. I haven't watched any of them. I'm definitely interested, but just haven't had time to get to it. But maybe one day.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Take us away for this next one.
So Empire debuts the Batman collectible covers featuring Batman and Catwoman, plus 2 new stills from the film have been released. I've seen a couple of them on TikTok, and Catwoman looks amazing, man. Catwoman looks amazing. I've seen another one that kind of like replicates Batman Beyond, which it was, that looked pretty good too. Which ones were your favorite?
Definitely, yeah, Catwoman. I mean, I think the suit and kind of the new take on it definitely looks super interesting, and I think a cool detail that I always love about the Catwoman on Zazie Beetz. Is that her name, Zazie? No, not Zoe Kravitz.
No,
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
Zazie Beetz is someone else, another actress.
She was Domino in Deadpool.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Zoe Kravitz. Her nails. It looks like she grew her nails out, which was pretty cool because usually I don't know. It's kind of like mechanical sometimes, and sometimes it's the nails. I don't know. It's just a little detail that I think looks cool. But yeah, the costume design looks so fantastic in this movie, and I think people are raving about every detail in this film. And I think Batman's just gonna blow a lot of people away. I really do.
Yeah. And I was kind of skeptical at first because I'm like, okay, I see Robert Pattinson and I'm just like, Twilight, vampires, Twilight, vampires, right? So the trailers I've seen so far, the covers, the Empire covers I've seen, so it's been proving me wrong so far. So you can't go wrong with a Batman film, so except Batman vs Superman, which has some issues, but we'll see though. But I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully, Robert Pattinson can do it justice.
Absolutely, got you. Oh, do it justice. Maybe a new Justice League. No, I'm just kidding. I like that. Anyways, speaking of Justice League, we have DC's Blue Beetle, another hero, is getting their own film. It's now going to have a theatrical release instead of coming to HBO Max. This is coming August 18th, 2023. Pretty great for him. I'm glad that he gets a full theater release. Awesome.
Yeah, so even I'm not sure if you've seen Smallville before.
No, I know of it, but haven't seen it.
So Smallville is like kind of like an origin story of Superman and stuff like that. So we kind of saw like a live action, well, I don't say live action, but like a portrayal of Blue Beetle in that series. So it was pretty cool. But with me, I'm all about diversity and inclusion. So for us to have a Hispanic hero being portrayed by, again, staying true to the character and being, having a theatrical release stuff just being dumped on HBO Max, that means a lot to me, even though I'm not Hispanic, but just seeing that representation means a lot. So we've seen the past couple of years, Marvel's done a great job of, having Brie Larson lead a superhero film, having deaf actors with Echo and Makari in their movies and TV shows. So for DC to kind of take a step forward in that direction as well means a lot. So it will be significant in the future as well. So having, Hispanic children, kind of have somebody to look up to instead of all these other heroes that are kind of like mainstream, having Blue Beetle, have some representation, it'll mean a lot to them and me as well. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. You make a great point, because I was thinking about it the other day on how when Marvel and kind of DC started out, with like Avengers, the first Avengers film, I think they didn't expect it to get so big, and it kind of felt like, oh, this is for kids, and we were kind of putting this together. We don't know how it's going to be, but now it's at a place where it's so mainstream that they can use those platforms to kind of send a message and have that inclusion and representation. Now it's like, okay, now we have a place in this world. Let's kind of use that for good, and I think that's what's super cool. We're seeing that change, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the direction.
Yes, same.
Very interesting. All right. Yeah. Now moving on to other studios. This is cool. This is from random studios across. It could be Universal, A24, indie films, stuff like that. An exciting one. Yeah. You want to start us off?
Oh yeah. So Kingsman 3 is confirmed to begin shooting in September 2022, and will conclude Eggie's story.
Nice.
So I've watched the first two Kingsman. I think the second one was Golden Circle. Or was that? Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. But I haven't watched the Kingsman. It's kind of like a prequel to the first two. But I haven't seen Eggie in a long time. Is it Taron Egerton? Yeah. So I haven't seen him in a while. So I'm looking forward to this third movie. I have to rewatch the first two just to get a feel of them again. But I remember loving them. So we'll see how he does with this third one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kingsman has always been kind of a favorite of mine. I think it's like taking James Bond but making it more fun and more over the top, and I've always enjoyed that. So definitely looking forward to see where they wrap it up.
Yeah.
Here's a fun one. Michelle Yeoh is there's a new trailer for a new film called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now this film looks out there. So this is from the director of Swiss Army Man, starring Daniel Radcliffe, Dan Kwan, and Daniel Scheinert. Sorry, I probably pushed that. Yeah. But I don't know. This trailer, it's pretty weird. I don't know if you've seen this trailer for this film.
I have not. So can you give me like a breakdown of what's it about?
So I could barely figure out the story just from the trailer because it was just a bunch of shots of this character that Michelle Yeoh is playing, and it's like a multiverse, and there was like beautiful arts shots of fighting, and I don't know. I couldn't really figure out the story because it's one of those trailers that kind of doesn't really give away a lot. It's just kind of a what's it called, like a tonal trailer. Like here's the tone of this film, but it definitely looks fun. But I couldn't really say too much on it.
But, yeah, I'll probably watch it right after we get out the podcast. But that does sound interesting, man. It does sound
cool. All right, you got the Nick Cage one, the fun one.
Oh yeah, so Nicolas Cage stars as Nicolas Cage in his first trailer for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I haven't heard about this. Any info on that?
Well, no, I put a little summary of it because I wasn't familiar. There's a trailer out. Looks pretty cool. I recommend that one as well. But yeah, there's a little summary. I don't know if you want to read.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. A cash-strapped Nicolas Cage agrees to make a paid appearance at a billionaire superfan's birthday party, but is really an informant for the CIA since the billionaire fan is a drunk kingpin and gets cast in a Tarantino movie. Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Shoot. That sounds interesting. That sounds awesome. Is there a date for that, a release date for that?
Not sure. I pulled this from IMDb. I should have pulled the release date as well. I don't know if they had it there, but I definitely recommend the trailer. It looks interesting. It's Nick Cage as himself, so
well, we'll see.
He always does funny stuff. But
hopefully it's good. We'll see.
All right, we have a fan favorite of mine. This is a favorite of mine. Kick-Ass. It's finally getting apparently a big reboot in 2 years, says the director Matthew Vaughn. But he won't reveal if the OG cast will return, which probably means they will.
Yeah. I remember Aaron Taylor Johnson was... I was in 6th grade. It's like 2009 when Kick-Ass 1 came out. And I didn't even realize Aaron Taylor Johnson was Kick-Ass till I was like in high school or I think my freshman year of college. So hopefully he does return as well as... I forgot her name.
Hit Girl.
Hit Girl, yeah. So the last time I saw her was she was like she was in Tom and Jerry, that live action show. But hopefully they do come back because I missed that. And then also the actor who played McLovin in Superbad.
Yes.
So hopefully. Actually, I think he died in the second movie, Kick-Ass 2. Whatever it is. But if they hopefully they do return, I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. That'd be awesome. They do come back.
No, yeah. Me and my dad, we love watching these films, and they're always they're like they're silly, mature, but definitely, man, they give you a good time. Definitely leave you a good time. Okay. You got this next one. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is my plan.
So a potential Alita the Battle Angel sequel is still on the table, says Robert Rodriguez. So I think, if I remember correctly, was Alita the Battle Angel, came out a couple of years ago as, was she like a robot or android, I believe?
It was CG. It was a very CG film.
Yeah.
CG heavy, but also mixed with live action. Christoph Waltz was in it as well. Mahershala Ali. A lot of, it was a great cast, great film. But
I think I remember that. I think I do remember that. Was it was Mahershala Ali like some type of villain in that movie?
Yeah, he had the glasses, and in the trailer he was always like, "Bring me the girl called Alita." Yeah, he kept saying that. I always remember that. It stuck with me. But yeah, it's definitely, I really enjoyed it. Like, I think, I don't know, it didn't really get that much love, but I think there's like a small group of fans that kind of want a sequel, because the way it ended was kind of like cliffhanger, and then we're waiting now. So apparently Robert Rodriguez talked about James Cameron and him were talking about it, and they're still very interested. He said he told him, let me deliver Book of Boba Fett, and we'll figure out a pitch. So I'm hoping for a sequel, because it was cool. It was pretty cool. Speaking of James Cameron, we have here Avatar 2 news, which feels like forever since we've heard about Avatar 2. He says it's fully in the can. He says we have a working cut that we're filling in the visual effects within. This comes from Variety. He also says, I want to do a movie that's 6 hours long and 2.5 hours long at the same time. You could stream it for 6 hours, or you can have a more condensed, immersive version in a movie theater, which is pretty surprising to hear coming from a director like James Cameron. But I don't know. I want director's cuts all the time,
Yeah, same as well. We saw how successful the Snyder Cut was, but I haven't, and it's a confession, but I've never seen Avatar. The first time I heard of Avatar, I thought people were referring to the we're going to talk about this next. Yeah, so I was like, that movie was terrible. What are you talking about, right? So I hopefully I can rewatch the first one, see what made it so good and what made it the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll see. I'll watch that, and I'll watch Avatar 2 and see what's up. But I heard James Cameron does a lot of great work with Titanic and then Avatar as well. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I always freak out. Like, it's totally fine if you haven't seen it, because it's not like the craziest movie. I don't know how it's the biggest film of all time. Like, it's weird. Like, out of all films in the world, why is that one? But I think it was just because the CGI at the time was so advanced that everyone wanted to experience what this new film was about, right? But yeah, it was definitely, it's weird because I enjoy it, but it's definitely like you watch it and you're like, how is this the biggest? But
true,
cool. It's definitely cool because I mean it's also has themes of like American culture, I guess, because it's kind of natives versus machine industry, you know what I mean, kind of the themes there, but behind it it's just a love story, but take what you will. And yeah, now you can wrap us up with M. Night.
With where? Oh yeah. So M. Night Shyamalan. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing that. His movie Knock at the Cabin, starring Dave Bautista, will be one continuous take.
And that's all we have on that one.
Yeah. So I think M. Night Shyamalan, didn't he direct the Last Airbender movie?
Yeah, he did.
It's so pretty bad.
Yeah, his last film was a movie called Old. He's done like what's it called? The film with Bruce
Alex
Willis.
Wolff.
Yeah, that one is. Wait, no, that one.
That was old. That was old, right?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Sorry, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of Hereditary, but no, yeah, Alex Wolff is in Old as well.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, he's a horror director. He does a lot of horror films, and his new kind of horror film-esque. There was a little anecdote that came out, said it's going to be one continuous take. Thought that was cool, and I was like, well, I'll put that in.
Bet. So I'm looking forward to seeing more work from Dave Bautista. I kind of like him as an actor, so we'll see how that goes.
Me too. I feel like he's underappreciated. He's kind of been shoehorned as the comedic relief, but he got some acting chops. He got some good.
Yeah. So even from after I saw Dune, I saw some work with him in Dune, and then is it not Army of Thieves, but
Army of the Dead. Yeah.
Army of the Dead. Yeah. So he's earned my respect over those past couple of movies. So I'm looking forward to what he does in this one right now.
Agreed. All right, moving on now to streaming. Let's see. We can get through this because we have a lot. We'll just read through these. I'll do all Netflix, and then you can kind of take Paramount, and then we'll go back and forth. Does that sound good?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so now for Netflix, the new Witcher season 2 is dropped. You gotta check that out. I haven't seen it, but I want to.
Neither. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things with Henry Cavill and what he's done with that series. But maybe I need something to watch right now, so hopefully I can get started on that.
Absolutely. Elizabeth Yu has been cast as Azula at Netflix. So we have basically some Avatar Last Airbender casting. So they're doing a new live action film for Netflix. So Elizabeth Yu has been cast as Azula. Maria Zhang will be cast as Suki, and Yvonne Chapman will play the legendary Kyoshi. So very popular characters from the show. I'm not familiar with it, but
the show. So you haven't watched the show, or
no, I haven't gotten to my life.
You need to. It's pretty amazing. So I'm kind of happy. Again, we mentioned being representation being a huge thing. So I'm kind of happy that it's kind of going to be representation here in this show, like a lot of TV or culturally accurate actors portraying who they are. So it's kind of the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. That's kind of where the main criticism came from. But I'm looking forward. I mean, just seeing these castings means a lot to me, and it means a lot to people who are being represented. So hopefully it's a great show. So.
I'm with
but
you.
something you have to watch, except the movie. This is a TV show.
It's what I hear. Yeah. And lastly, Charlie Cox, Olga Kurylenko, and Una Chaplin will star in a 6-part spy drama, Treason, for Netflix. So we got Charlie Cox coming back. That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I only know him from Daredevil. So we'll see how. I'd love to see him in different works, whether that be TV shows or movies. But I don't know much about him as an actor, but seeing this, like, I'd love to see him do different things instead of just as Daredevil. So looking forward to that.
I agree. Yeah, like I know he's a great actor, so let's see what he brings.
Yeah.
Okay. We're moving on now. Paramount Plus.
So in Paramount Plus, Josh Peck will guest star in iCarly season 2. Being on the iCarly set after all these years feels like a full circle, says Josh Peck. So I watched season 1. It's kind of different without Sam, but I know Drake guest starred in iCarly during its original run on Nickelodeon. But having Josh Peck come back, and I don't know who's gonna play as or whatever. We'll see how that goes, but. I know they have a great relationship. They just posted a TikTok a couple of days ago, and I think he was on set of iCarly. So,
I think I saw the same one.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So. All right, and now we have Disney Plus. This is always exciting for me. I love Disney Plus goodies. So, we can go back and forth here. I'll take Zorro, and then you can get the Goonies one. Okay, we'll go back and forth. So, Zorro will be returning to Disney Plus. It's getting a brand new series. This is starring Wilmer Valderrama, and apparently it'll be a modern telenovela style reimagining of the classic 50s show. Ooh, sounds interesting. Sounds fun.
It does. Wow. So the Goonies inspired series of Our Time lands on Disney Plus. The story follows a teacher helping her students recreate the original movie shot for shot. Do you know anything about the Goonies?
I've seen the original in my life before. Haven't seen it recently, but I think this is kind of a new take without kind of remaking it. They're like, let's just kind of make a new story off of it, which is I think how they should do Disney classics or any kind of film classic and kind of redo it for streaming or anything. Do a reimagining of it or kind of inspired by it. Don't really kind of recreate it shot for shot. But I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. So the Book of Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett trailers only use footage from the first half of the first episode. This is Star Wars, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So do you know much about that or the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah. So I'd say I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but this Book of Boba Fett show, I don't know. The trailers have been, I feel like, a little amateur. So I don't know how big of a Star Wars fan you are, but this is based off the character from the original films back in the 70s and 80s. He's a Mandalorian bounty hunter, and so this is following off of the Mandalorian TV show, right? And so he's finally getting his own show, and he's finally getting to reign and kind of be the super cool bounty hunter that he was, So I don't know.
Awesome.
I think it's gonna be a cool show, but we'll have to see what kind of surprises they tease us.
Yeah.
And now moving on Peacock. We barely get news for Peacock. Bel Air series, of course, which is the recreation of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, is going to premiere on Super Bowl Sunday, February 13th. Episodes will then drop weekly. Pretty cool. Interesting.
Yeah, I remember the first. Again, I probably wasn't even born yet when it first premiered, but just having. I'm not one for remakes and of classic TV shows, but we'll see how this one goes. They posted like a teaser or something a couple months back, and I have a lot of strong opinions about that. But hopefully, it does the show justice and kind of builds on the character. So we'll see.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, we'll see. And lastly, sorry.
You can read it. I mean, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Me too. Or,
I'll just read it off and then we'll get to our light news. Sound good? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
How I Met Your Father gets their first trailer. That's about it. It's coming January 18th. Hilary Duff is gonna return in the show. That's about it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have our light news. So these are just, fast paced. We'll just read back and forth. These are kind of, I wanted to include them, but there's not really much with them. So you could start us off.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Fast and Furious has been delayed to May 19th, 2023. Sucks, but I love the movie, and it's we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, me too. Uncharted has a brand new poster. Tom Holland is Nathan Drake. We got Mark Wahlberg on it. Uncharted trailer's out. Check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Poster looks pretty cool, but we'll see how it looks.
First look of images from The Lost City. Sandra Bullock plays a romance adventure novelist who's kidnapped by eccentric billionaire Daniel Radcliffe to search for ancient treasure. It sounds like a good movie, and I'm always one for adventure movies, so we'll see.
Yep. Danny Elfman is going to be doing the score for Tim Burton's Wednesday Addams series coming to Netflix. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Super Superhero drops April 22nd, 2022 in Japan. I'm not one for sub movies. I like dubbed so I can actually hear what's going on, but I'm looking forward to that. The North American release date is still to be determined, so to be announced. I'm sorry, so we'll see.
Absolutely. And lastly, we have the English language remake of Train to Busan: The Last Train to New York will be coming April 21st, 2023 to theaters. Pretty interesting. That's Train to Busan was a great film. Does not need a remake. Pretty sad to hear, but I'd recommend it. Anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was all of our major news, light news. That was all the news of the week. Now we get into our recommendations, kind of what we want to recommend to you all to be checking out. Tope, if you have a recommendation, lay it on us. Let's see what you got.
I just finished Arcane, and that's probably the best Netflix show I've watched, or one of the best Netflix shows I've watched this year, and I highly recommend it. It's the scenes kind of give me Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse type of vibes, so. I highly recommend that to all the listeners out there.
Yeah, that's a good one. I just started the first episode, and it's good. Again, no time. There's too much content, but I want to finish it. It does look really cool.
It is.
That's cool. My recommendation this week is an Apple TV Plus show called The Shrink Next Door. Now, I have recommended this before, but I just finished it now. This stars Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd, and so I didn't know. This is it's not really a spoiler. It's because I don't know. It's not a spoiler, but this is a true story. It's a true story, and it blew my mind. So I'll give the basic premise for those of you that don't know. It's basically about a guy, Will Ferrell, goes to his psychiatrist, Paul Rudd, and over the course of the show, we see the relationship between them start off as friends and become almost family to each other. But it's a very manipulative, kind of taking advantage of Will Ferrell with his money and kind of taking advantage of this poor guy that's broken and needs help, and psychiatrist takes advantage of him, and it results into a pretty interesting relationship, and it's wild because it's true.
Was it like a comedy or a drama?
It's a drama, but it does have comedic tones. Like, it's definitely funny. It's funny to watch.
You mentioned Will Ferrell, so I didn't know if I didn't know how the what kind of genre of the series. So I might need to check that out. I've been watching the morning show on Apple TV. So so we'll see. I'll probably watch that after I catch up with the morning show. So
gotcha. Yeah, Will Ferrell he acted really well. Like, he normally does comedy, but man, he was like really good in this because he was more of a serious role, and it was fantastic. But that's it for me. And thank you for your recommendation. Well, that's our episode, ladies and gentlemen. Tope Imade, thank you so much for hopping on this week. We really appreciate it. Again, everybody at home, please check out his content. We'll have everything linked down below. That's all I ask from you guys. He has some great content coming out very soon, so definitely check him out. Thanks again, dude. I appreciate this.
Thanks for having me. I know we kind of just like met last week, just started talking, but you know, the superhero community, the love for superheroes and movies and just anything pop culture related brings a lot of people together. So I'm happy you brought us together, and we've gotten so close in the past couple of days, and I'm looking forward to just building this relationship, you know, building each other's content, building each other's growth and network, and hopefully we can make this thing happen and attend a movie premiere sometime soon in LA.
Absolutely, dude. I'm right there with you. Yeah. We'll be going together. We'll be tagging along.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. Everybody at home, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Give us a review. Again, all of our social media is linked down below. Don't forget about our sponsor. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you all next week on episode 44. Have a great week, everybody, and happy holidays as well. Happy holidays from Strictly Casual to y'all. Bye-bye, everybody.
Happy holidays. Bye.